Hi, my name is Matt, and tonight for dinner I'm going to be cooking chicken salten boca along with sauteed vegetables, oven roasted potatoes, and then I'm going to do a fruit melody with a chocolate ganache for dessert. Alright, we're going to first start off with the potatoes because they take the longest to cook. So what you're first going to do is go ahead, you're going to get a small potato. I wouldn't use a golden russet. You can either use a small potato like this or the little red potatoes or even fingerling potatoes, and you're going to want to wash them first. So get your water running, and then you're going to take a brush and you're going to scrub them. Right, then you're going to take your washed potatoes and you're going to go ahead and put them into a pot of boiling water. Alright, and we are going to boil these potatoes for 10 minutes or until tender. You can tell by taking a fork. Just stick your fork in there, it should go in relatively easy. If not, just do it in about 2-minute increments. Just do the same test with the fork. Okay, now we're going to start on the chicken. Now, to help tenderize the chicken and to make it a little bit easier to cook and eat, we're going to pound it. So what you want to do is you want to have a cutting board or a surface that has been covered in plastic, or you can use a Ziploc bag. You want to go ahead and place your chicken down on top. And then you're going to get another piece of saran wrap. Now if you're using saran wrap, make sure you double it up because you don't want it to tear on you. And then this is just going to help prevent anything from splattering once you start pounding. If you don't have a mallet, take an empty jar, fill it full of water, and you can use that. Or you can also use a pan, but the jar of water is going to work a little bit better for you. What you're going to do is you're just going to take it and start pounding it. Now don't use your regular hammer for doing whatever. That's not going to work. You don't want it to pound holes into the meat that you're working with. So you just want to pound it until it's maybe about a ½ inch thick. Alright, so it's been about 10 minutes now, so once again we're going to take our fork, we'll stick it in here. It's nice and tender, alright? You're going to go ahead and you're going to take the potatoes off the heat, go over to a colander, or just very carefully pour out the water. You're going to dump out your potatoes. And you're going to wait for them to cool down a little bit because we do have to handle them. Alright, while the potatoes are cooling, we're then going to go back to our pounded chicken and we're going to go ahead and season it up a little bit. So we're going to start off by taking some fresh sage. Alright, so you're going to take your sage and you're going to go ahead and rinse it off. Alright, you want to take maybe about 8 leaves or so. You want to go ahead and try to pluck the stem off. You're just going to go ahead and lay them down in the middle of the breasts, like this. Alright, now that you have the sage on all your chicken, you're going to go ahead and you're going to get a pack of prosciutto. Now you can buy this in any deli section at any supermarket. I get mine from Trader Joe's. It's a little cheaper than most places. It's going to come pre-sliced. It's also known as Parma ham in some places. And you want to go ahead and put 2 slices on it. Alright? Just going to go ahead and take 1 slice, put it down like that. Okay, next we're going to go back to the potatoes. So I went ahead and I put the chicken aside. Now you have to remember, it is raw chicken, so you need to make sure you wash your hands, and probably when you're done with everything, wipe it down with Clorox or some soap. Okay, anyway, going back to the potatoes, we're then going to take our boiled potatoes, we're just going to lay them down, we're going to give them a couple pounds, alright? You can, once again, if you don't have a mallet, you can go ahead and do this with your jar filled with water, okay? So you don't even have to use it, you can even use your hand. Oh, they slip a little bit when you use your hand, but you kind of want to flatten them out a little bit. Like so, okay? Now you want to go ahead and transfer all your potatoes to a cookie sheet that is lined with foil. Alright, now before you do this, you want to go ahead and preheat your oven to about 350 degrees. Okay? You then want to go ahead and just sprinkle a little bit of olive oil all over your potatoes, okay? You don't want to put too much, but don't skimp on it at the same time. Alright? Then you're going to go ahead and take a little bit of salt and pepper. You're going to put that on top of each of them. We're going to go to our salt. Now you don't want to over salt these. Just a little bit. And then you want to go ahead and take some fresh rosemary. You can chop it on top of them. Not too much, we just kind of want to give it a little bit of a hint of rosemary. You can also use dry, but once again, fresh is better. Alright, so we're almost done here. Okay, a little bit of salt and pepper on each of them. Got your olive oil and your spices. And we're going to pop them into the oven that was preheated to 350 degrees. And you're going to cook them until they look golden brown on top. So probably about 10-15 minutes, okay? Just toss them on in there. And then we'll go ahead and we'll go back to the chicken. Alright, we're now back to our chicken. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that the prosciutto is pressed firmly on top of the chicken because we are going to be cooking it. Alright, so you want to go ahead and take it and you have a bowl full of flour. And I like to put a little bit of pepper in the flour. It kind of gives it a little bit more flavor. You just want to go ahead and dredge it on both sides, get a nice even coat. Just like that. And that means this is going to cook a lot nicer. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and have a pan. It's been warming up for a little bit on the stove. We're going to go ahead and take about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half of butter. You're going to go ahead and put it in your skillet. And you want to go ahead and make sure it's a nice even coating on the bottom, especially if you're using something that has a stainless steel bottom like what I'm doing right here with this copper skillet. And then we are ready for the chicken. So we're going to go ahead and take our chicken that was dredged in the flour, and we're going to go ahead and pick it up and we're going to start frying it prosciutto side down. Okay? Just going to go ahead and line that up nicely in the pan here. Evenly spaced, you don't want it to be too crowded. Your pan should be nice and full now, okay? And we're just going to let those cook for about 4 to 6 minutes on that side, and then we're going to go ahead and flip them over. For the vegetables, we're going to do little zucchinis. You can actually buy these over at Trader Joe's. And the way to go ahead and prepare them is go ahead and set it down, take a knife, you're going to cut off the end, right, and then you're just going to split it right down the middle, just like this, okay? So it'll come apart in half like that. So you have 2 halves. While the chicken is cooking, you're then going to take a second pan here. You're going to go ahead and get it kind of warm. I'd say put it about medium-high heat. You're going to put a fair amount of olive oil on the bottom, maybe about, I'd say 3 tablespoons or so. And then you're going to go ahead and toss in all of your zucchini. Alright? And then you're going to take your salt and pepper, put a little bit of salt and pepper in there, kind of help season everything a little bit. Go back to the chicken now, which is nearing time to flip. So you're going to go ahead and get your spatula up under there and lift it up. It's getting that nice golden brown on it. So it's time to go ahead and flip it. It's going to cook these for about another 4 or 5 minutes. And then it should be done all the way through. So the chicken is now done. It's going to look like this after it's come off the stove. I'm just going to go ahead and set that off to the side now. Now you have all this really good looking brown stuff in here. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and first we're going to add about half to 3/4 of a cup of cooking wine. Now this is wine that anyone can buy, regardless of your age, because it is salted wine. So don't drink it on your own, you'll get very sick. Then because it's salted wine, we are taking low sodium chicken broth. I'm putting just a little bit of that in there, okay? I would say maybe once again about half a cup. You crank this bad boy all the way up to the top, and while it is simmering, then I'm going to go ahead and take a spatula and just give it a nice stir and help get all this really good brown stuff off the bottom. Alright, this brown stuff tastes really good. And when we're done, we're going to go ahead and spoon this over all of the chicken. So we're going to let that simmer down for about a minute. You can see that all of our greens are starting to get a nice brown on them, so they're almost done. Okay, so just a couple seconds, it'll all be ready to eat. Alright, so you got your chicken, your vegetables, and those potatoes that we pulled out of the oven. Alright, so everything's ready to eat. Go ahead and enjoy that.